Being a furry is like wearing a superhero cape. That is a fantastic headline. That is an absolutely fantastic headline from the British Broadcasting Corporation. You know, things have been too serious around here as of late, okay? All of the stuff that's going on in the US with Trump, of course, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and all of this. We deserve an opportunity to just have a little bit of fun. And you know this is going to be a little bit of fun. The worst part is, I'm not even in opposition to the furry community by any stretch of the imagination. This falls well within my idea of, well, so long as you keep your fetishes to yourself, you are welcome to have them. And if they're able to organize a convention so that they can do their stuff away from other people and not bother anybody, well then, goddamn fantastic. Do it. But is this really something that the British Broadcasting Corporation should be covering? Imagine a journalist and presumably a photographer, camera crew, whatever, have been paid to go to ScotiaCon. That is a wolf wearing a kilt, and those are paws. Lum Lum will be so pleased to write an article on furries in Scotland. Hey, for once it's not my taxpayer money, so what do I care? It's British and somehow, strangely, American taxpayer money that went into this, so hey, details, but let's get into it. Fenix Firefox, a man dressed as a large furry orange fox with blue hair and a tail tipped by a flame, at least it's not a butt plug, says that in his normal life he is a very shy person. I can imagine. But after he adopted his fursona, he is dancing in the streets and sharing a long hug with his best friend Rock, who is dressed as a giant red and black German shepherd. It's like a superhero cape, says Fennec. When I put my fox head on, the person is gone. He does not exist. Only Fennec the fox exists. Oh, help me. Fennec says that being in costume allows him to escape his everyday struggles and do nothing but be happy. That's what has brought him to Scotland's largest furry convention, ScotiaCon. And you know what? Yet again, they're fair-y-bloody enough. I am taking a little bit of a piss out of this because listen to this. I mean, come on, but you know what? Good for you. In this age where entertainment and escapism is constantly under attack, if you can just disconnect from everything and get away from the world for a week by putting on your giant fursuit, well, good for you. You have, unironically, access to a privilege there that many of us are somewhat missing at this point, even if this may be a bit too far of a step to regain it for many of us. Outside the Glasgow hotel, where the main event is held, hundreds of people dressed in costumes ranging from a rabbit in a military uniform to a unicorn with a magic wand have gathered along the banks of the Clyde. I hope it's not that unicorn, because I think it's shooting something out from its bum, but details. Passers-by dodge a pack of giant multicolored dogs as they pose with each other in a group selfie. I'm sorry, people of Glasgow, but This is like the fifth one, I'm sure you're used to it by now. A few meters away, a group consisting of a bull with pink ears and a husky in a wizard's hat dance along to an accordion being played by a person in a large cartoon fox head. ScotiaCon co-director Jeremy Smith says the event is an opportunity to forget the real world for a weekend. The 45-year-old says you can go and be this big, colourful animal and that has no worries in the world and can just disconnect. I think a lot of people come along for that. Again, absolutely 100% fair. If this is a way for you to simply disconnect from the rest of the world, then more power to you, frankly. Although, well, I'll get in a second. ScotiaCon first launched in Inverness in 2011, but this year's 4-day convention is expected to be the largest yet, with 1,700 attending. That's a lot of furries. It's an opportunity to be silly for a weekend when no one is judging you, Mr. Smith says. It features events such as cash-free casino night, an art auction, fan fiction writing panels. I can imagine the smell. A rave and a wine and cheese reception. However, the convention and the furry fandom more widely is regularly the subject of controversy. Well, I don't know if I'd go quite that far. Ridicule, sure. Controversy depends. It is often associated with sexual fetishism. No. Surely not. Surely the skirt-wearing dog could not be fetishized in any way, nor the massively obese dragon clinging to the tower. I've seen enough hentai to know where that is going to. And members of the fandom have been accused of being sexual deviants or misfits. Are you going to deny it? The convention does host events such as writing erotica. But okay, I want to hear the but. Mr. Smith insists that furries are badly represented in the media. Fair enough, they are, most surely so, and that fetishism is not part of the furry identity. I don't know about that, sir. I'm not convinced. I am not convinced that this is not fetishistic. I'm, in fact, pretty goddamn certain that this has significant fetish elements. Oh god, I love the dude in the background. That is genius. Now you're gonna have to get a little bit further out to sea before you try to sell this one to me, particularly considering as well the writing furry erotica fan corner. It's a fetish. Why even deny it? Embrace it. Come on. No, okay, listen here, everybody. The people that look at you and go, degenerate scum, aren't going to be, oh, but it's not a fetish. Well, shit. Why didn't you tell me? No, of course not. You gotta understand, this is a pretty niche thing you're doing here. And the people that like it, well, they like it. And the rest of us will tolerate you, by and large. At least I hope so. And that'll be that. End of conversation. Don't try to make it into something it isn't, because Jesus. We are one of the most misrepresented communities, and almost always in a negative way. It's largely because people fear what they don't know. Oh no, I understand. I know, which is yet again why I doubt this. We're used to people saying, look at this debauchery, but we aren't a fetish event. It's not what the convention is about. It's about community and getting away from things. I know, I get, I understand, but yet again, You are most assuredly so a fetish event, sir. Do not even pretend for an instant. Again, I don't even see why you would want to pretend, but... Phoenix the Firefox says it's just a hobby. It's no different to an anime convention or a Comic-Con convention. I don't know about that. Now, you can certainly argue that there's a fair bit of spicy cosplay at those as well, but I would very much so argue that the intent is not quite as overtly sexual. Furries first emerged as a subculture in the 1980s after anthropomorphic creatures began appearing as characters in science fiction comics and fan art, and people looked at them and thought, God, I want to have sex with that. And here we are today. Human ingenuity truly knows no bounds. Fans of the character soon started dressing as animals, ranging from cats and dogs to more fantastical creatures such as dragons and unicorns, and calling themselves furries. Is that a moniker they themselves adopted? The furry community, or fandom, gained popularity with the growth of the internet, and it estimated there are now hundreds of thousands of furries worldwide. Oh, part of me feels like... Am I the only one who reads that and feels threatened? Like, I'm in danger. Furries say that they do not identify as animals. Well, I have seen some people who do, but by and large, I'm sure that's the case. And many liken the activity to cosplaying. A costume or a fursuit can often cost thousands of pounds, and many are homemade. Absolutely, they're not cheap, these things. Inside the convention hall, an octopus and a parrot casually drink a glass of wine together. Rocky, the German shepherd, says that in everyday life they could be doctors, teachers, engineers, or lawyers. And you know what? He's actually correct. There is a large number of suspiciously wealthy furries out there, people who are weirdly well-adjusted members of society at large, although, the safe space option then comes up as some of these people are exactly the kind of people you would think they are. The kind of people that start talking about safe spaces and how their community is misrepresented and how this obvious fetish is totally not a fetish, bruh. It's an identity. Yeah. Don't know about that. Yet again, don't know about that. You probably know a furry. I do. I do. And don't realize it. Oh, no. Trust me, you're not as good at hiding as you think you are. It's because we are just everywhere, says Rock, who, again, I feel as if there's a threat implicit in this. And like Fennec is not keen to reveal his human identity. Preferring to be known by his fursona. He says we feel free under the fursuit because you don't see what we look like underneath. There is no way to make prejudgments. Yet again, I question your supposition. Mrs. Smith also says the event is attended by a very diverse audience, which is largely made up of professional people. I know a professor who runs the science department in London University. Oh, believe me, I believe that. A space technician, a business who runs a chain of upmarket bakeries, he says. It's a very diverse, very accepting community. Oh, it is. It very much so is. It is heavily a part of academia, this. He also says that the Scotticon is popular with people with autism and physical learning disabilities, who says the convention is a safe space. I feel as if you're inviting me to take a shot or three there, but I am going to hold myself back from it. He says that wearing a fursuit can allow those who struggle in a social setting to be more confident. Some members of the fandom cannot even talk to people, but you put them into a fursuit, and you could put them on stage tomorrow. All inhibitions are gone. They put on the costume and become a big, bright character. I think that's a large appeal. Certainly, and again, the escapist aspect of this is hunky-dory, perfectly fantastic, a lovely, hobby to have, but the absence of inhibition is also why, again, we have a relatively heavy-duty fetishistic element to all of this, yet again, so... Hey, you know what? it all basically boils down to the same thing in the end. If you're not bothering anybody, then do whatever the hell you want to do. If you and 1,700 other people can then come together and host a convention and rent out a locale, even better for you. Fantastic, in fact. You're out of the way, and, well, everybody else doesn't have to participate. Fantastic. Ideal. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Although, the entire creation of separate identities here, very much so a progressive construct, which is, well, hey, you know, progressivism already lives in a de facto fantasy land, so why not go the whole 10 yards, eh? 11, 12, 13? I don't know this sports metaphors, but why not just go full hog? Why not? If you're already living in a fantastical utopia in your head where all the various problems of the world can be solved by simply calling everyone around you a racist, you might as well put on a colourful costume whilst you're doing it. And the rest of us will have a little bit of fun at your expense, but I'm sure you have just as much at ours as you get drunk in your fursuits. So, everybody wins, I suppose. Until next time, chat, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.